Let me clarify. I will pay $99 a month, and I will bring on my customers as well, who will pay $99 a month, and I will only take 10% commission off of those clients as an affiliate, as a referral. So when you are building up a new digital business, there's a lot of like housekeeping stuff. When you're bringing on people, employees, freelancers, whatnot, into the company, they need to have their own like chat and email address and calendar and contact book and video conferencing software and a bunch of different stuff that they need in order to work in like a normal digital remote-ish business, right?
Yeah, like Google Workspace or something like that.
Exactly. So that's what most people do. They buy like Google Workspace and then just give everyone it.
That's what we're going to demolish today. That's our goal, to demolish Google Workspace.
For sure. Which is funny because normally we're big like Google fanboys. No, but generally speaking, it's a nice thing to demolish. So I want to talk a little bit about how using something that is not Google Workspace would be considered utilizing one of your company's innovation tokens.
What's an innovation token?
Excellent question. Thank you for asking. So in traditional digital startup companies, there's a great blog post that says you get 3 innovation tokens. The blog post is called Choose Borrowing Technology. I'm going to drop it at the bottom here at the show notes. And it says something as following. A guy from Etsy, which is like a big secondhand crafts, arts, whatever marketplace, he said that when you start up a company or you work for an early stage company where there's a lot of interesting innovative tech to build, either on the infrastructure side or on the business side, or the problem itself requires a lot of innovation, there's some stuff where some places in the business where you have to choose borrowing technology. For your infrastructure, you should choose borrowing technology. And outside of that borrowing technology, you get about 3 innovation tokens to use on stuff that is not borrowing technology. Let's look at an example. Email, you should choose borrowing technology. Your main programming language for the company, you should choose borrowing technology. Your main database provider, you should choose borrowing technology. Incorporating some sort of data-driven feature that really puts your product aside, that's an innovation token. Incorporating an LLM, that's an innovation token. Relying on some sort of weird-ass distributed path, something like Fly.io or whatnot, that's an innovation token. So whenever you're starting up something, you only have so many innovation tokens you can use, let's call it 3 to put a number on it. And you should use them wisely. Because if not, what you're doing is you're incurring technical debt. And it doesn't have to be actually technical. You're just incurring debt on your operations that will be repaid later on.
So it's like, if I'm going to use this new fancy unknown thing, I might get into a problem later on, and I can't do that for all of my business, right? Because then it won't have any stable ground. So I'd rather use like something boring, like, I don't know, like a relational database instead of using this weird ass NoSQL database that's out there.
Correct. I wanna say why there's a problem currently with this bootstrapping or housekeeping side of things for digital businesses. There's a set of things that is pretty recurrent. I come from B2B tech, right? That's what I do. That's what I did for most of my career. There's a set of things that happen every time you start a company in this place. You're getting up a website, an analytics account, email accounts for the people, calendars, chat, voice conferencing. You're starting up an email outbound operation a lot of the times. You're buying PPC ads a lot of the time. You have some sort of CDP, customer data platform like HubSpot a lot of the time. There are things that are very, very much recurring. And I'd like to state the following. For the general B2B tech company that works within the SaaS realm, right, let's put something big around it. There's a set of tools, let's call it 30, 40, 50 tools, that I'd be willing to spend $1,000 a month on from day one to get all of them to work very well together in an integrated way, right? Without any of the limitations and the debt incurred by connecting all of them in kind of mangled ways.
2 problems I see with that. First of all, maybe $1,000 a year because you're just starting. And secondly, I think there's another problem, which is, well, I tried doing this. So when I started, I have a few like weird stuff. First of all, I have my own email. So I use Google Workspace for my own email. It costs, I think, $6 a month for that. And I was like, okay, I get it, my custom domain. So if Google decides to deactivate me, I still have my own email. But the problem is, before that, I tried to use Fastmail and some other, products like you said, and the problem there was maybe the email was okay, but then their calendar sucked, or like some other stuff there sucked. And Google has like overarchingly a good product, but the problem is it's really pricey and it's not exactly what we're talking about here. That's kind of like my thought process.
100%. And I want to position myself as an advocate for the following idea. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more in this episode. There's a need for a new type of email and calendar application. It involves a lot of the functionality that Google has, plus some of the things they charge a lot of money for, and some of the things that they're lacking that other platforms have. This should be something that is cheap to use for an early stage company. Most of the tech is already there. And what we need to do is to take all of these functionalities, put them into one, and offer them in something that is either very, very easily spinnable on any cloud account, easily configurable and easily spinnable and doesn't cost a lot to run, or a SaaS that costs between $30 and $100 a month. And I say, as a potential user, first of all, I'll pay $99 a month for this, for sure, no questions asked, for an unlimited amount of members in my company, right? Because that matters to me. And more than that, I can define pretty much to the T every single feature that's needed though, and also tell you what is out of scope for the company. Because I think, stop one moment, let me just wrap up this thought. It sounds like what I'm suggesting is an all-in-one product that would be not best in class. But in fact, we've reached a stage where so many different types of SaaS applications are commodity that I think you can create an all-in-one that is actually best in class.
Okay, I think I have an idea there, but just to pinpoint this and circle back. What you said with the innovation tokens is basically you want to create a solution that someone would want to spend their innovation token on you. That's what
I'm saying, that there's room to spend the innovation token on infrastructure because the market, or rather the situation for an early stage digital company, involves a lot of setting up that should not be done anymore. We've done the same thing over and over again. I want to tell a personal story. The amount of times that I went into companies and configured HubSpot to work exactly the way that I want is insane. It happens every single time. The move from HubSpot to Salesforce happens the exact same way every single time. The decision is delayed every single time. I set up the Google Analytics report the same way every single time. I set up the forwarding rules inside the emails of the salespeople the same way every single time. Same thing over and over again. I have my own playbook that I set up with my clients, and I really, really dislike doing a lot of the same work over and over again. And I'd much rather pay for a tool that I need to configure once and then replicate exactly the same configuration, exactly the same across every single company that I work.
Okay, so just to kind of clarify this, what we're talking about here is basically a solution that lets you bootstrap a company, a digital company, with all the tools you need to do that, but you can replicate that easily to other companies that you want to open. So if you're a dude with 4 companies, you could just like duplicate all the settings from company A to company B. That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. And I want to talk a little bit about, 100%. I can't find the link right now, but there's a woman called Jess Frazel. She's one of the founders of Oxide Computer Company. What they do is essentially, well, it used to be Oxide Computer Company. They have a different name now, I don't remember. But Oxide Computer Company decided to build what is essentially an AWS server for the masses. They said, fuck the cloud computing companies. We want the same grade of infrastructure, but instead of being able to like rent it out of cloud companies, I want to have it in my own data centers. That's what Oxide is building. And she, aside from being an amazing mind, she has one thing that resonated with me more than anything else she has ever said. It has nothing to do with her core technology experience. She has her email filters, her filters for incoming email, backed up as JSON. I was like, what the actual fuck? And she said, well, I know exactly what I want my email to look like. And she backed up all of their email filters as JSON. And when she moves between providers or whatever happens, all of that logic is already encapsulated inside some sort of structural data.
So you now like codify a company, basically, if I'm jumping here to conclusion?
I'm saying that a smart consultant can take one of these all-in-one systems, configure them for their clients, and in 2 weeks, get a company set up with something that it can take weeks and months and however many time to set up because of all these little bits and bytes. You want to set up a company
Okay.
with 10 people and that's the structure? Okay, no problem. We've got it codified for you.
Okay, let's bring it down to earth. So I'm coming to this website, this idea of that we're talking about here. What am I seeing? Like what's written on the homepage? What's the copy? What is it selling? What is going on?
Excellent question. This is Hey.com. Hey.com is a company by the people behind 37 Signals, Basecamp, and other whatever. DHH, the guy behind Ruby on Rails, is the founder of the company. Jason Fried, one of the greatest marketers of our time, is a co-founder of this company. And what they essentially said is, we'll take an email client, we'll reverse it, and then we'll add a calendar to it. That's the company. And what they said is, we're going to solve email by essentially getting you a different kind of email experience, right? Reversing the stage of email. I'm not going to go into it. Go to Hey.com if you want to check it out. And then we're going to add a calendar to it that works a little bit differently. We're going to kind of codify the way you do time. Now, this is kind of what I'm getting at. We'll reverse. We already know how to do email well. We already know how to do calendar well. I'll codify it for you and give you a product that does most of the work for you, right? So this, but for everything else, Zoom, chat, whatnot, one package, easily configurable, and can be handed over to a company to start working immediately.
Okay, so what am I getting? I want to open up a new company. I want to be, I don't know, I want to open up a mini SaaS. I go to this website. What am I getting?
Great question. So at first glance, it's going to look a little bit like one of your all-in-one kind of connector, there's a company called Padly, whatever. I'll drop a link at the bottom that says, we are the Zapier for connecting everything to everything. So everything you want inside like an automation system, we have it for you, right? So this is what they say they have. It's like an all-in-one platform. So you go to the website and there's a big screen and it says, we'll have an all-in-one platform for starting up your digital business, right? This is what it looks like. Kind of spammy, kind of crappy, but works. And I think this is what I wanted to have. Something that's obviously has all the features, obviously easily configurable, doesn't require me to connect multiple tools to do a lot of the same work over and over again. And after a little bit of tweaking, a day or two of playing with it, I can just set and forget it for my company.
I'll tell you what I was thinking and tell me if it kind of collides with this idea or not. I was thinking the main thing I need, the MVP, is I need a domain and I need a way to get emails and send emails, right? And I need to be able to create more emails for other like freelancers or employees that I have. So that's the first thing I would start with. And I would create a very intriguing pricing for that, because everything out there has a bad pricing. We can talk about email reputation and the unit economics of that, but that's the thing I want from a customer perspective. And then on top of that, what I would personally want is that to use a lot of really, really good tools out there. So instead of me using an all-in-one suite of, Zoom-like capabilities, calendar-like capabilities, all that, I want to use already what's good out there and maybe have a discount to using them through this application. You're understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's more of an affiliate kind of marketing play. I get it, and I think this might be a good way, but you're still dealing with a lot of the connectivity issues between kind of integrating the way, the Zoom links are getting added automatically to your calendar invites. Right? It's still something you'll have to kind of do yourself. Sure, there's an extension, but
the program can make it themselves. Like if we call this company XYZ.com, XYZ can make this kind of connect to Zoom in a very seamless way. So yeah, I'm saying for Zoom separately, and I have this like different email and different like all these tools, but
Whoa. I like this approach much better, actually. Instead of us building everything, you just have really good connections to these other companies in a very opinionated way, yet still configurable. So essentially, if I actually, this is a much, much better approach than mine. Well, we always said you're much better of a product person than I am. I'm just a marketing bullshit guy, right? So yeah, I know. So essentially, I propose the following. If I had to look at it, it would look a little bit like connecting all of my accounts to a single place, right? Like you can authenticate with Zoom, authenticate with LinkedIn, authenticate with Google, whatever, right? One platform. And then all of the connectivity between all of those tools will be already codified for you. So you know that whenever a new calendar invite is being created, add a Zoom link to it automatically for the user who has created, like one thing. LinkedIn, whenever the company publishes a new post, everybody who kind of connects has an email sent to them saying, please upvote this post. right? For example, stuff that is kind of, I don't know, bread and butter for anybody who's doing B2B, for me, B2B tech, right? But the go-to-market.
Kind of the term that's popping up to my mind is something with like Zapier, right? Because it's like Zapier for creating a digital business entity, right? Because you can connect all these different things and have still your own company. And when you need to grow out of that, you can grow out of that. But I think the cool thing about this is that you're tailoring to a section in the market that nobody really wants to sell to at this point. And I think there are a lot of them, and there are going to be more of them with all this AI coming on, because you won't need teams of 20 people creating a SaaS. You'll need 1 or 2 people, and they need to create a company, and they don't want to pay these enormous amounts for stuff. So imagine that you had that. You could connect all the suite of tools, and you can decide, yeah, I want Zoom, or I want Loom, or I want Google Calendar, and it knows how to kind of connect everything together, gives you a reasonable price to start, and then you continue from there. If you're okay with it, I just want to talk about some like idea that I had in terms of like another benefit this product can give in terms of discount. So
go ahead.
That if I go into this program and it knows how to connect everything, it could actually create this company can create a lot of deals with those third-party SaaSes and get a discount code for people using. Instead of paying the normal amount for Zoom, I'll use like a discount code to use it in this integrated system. So you can actually also lower all the prices of all the third-party tools that you're using, right? Because that seems kind of reasonable to me to try to strike those deals.
Okay, tell me more.
That's it. So for example, instead of manually going and buying Zoom, if you buy through this system, xyz.com, let's say, then you get Zoom in a 20% discount because you're using it in this integrated system.
Yeah, it's an affiliate play, and I think that the company behind this tooling can also kind of be a great affiliate for all of those tools, right? Because they're adding value for those tools. But again, let's assume that we have this infrastructure built. There's still, let's say that you're the company behind it. You still need to waste an innovation token on something, right? Because connecting to these places is not very difficult. It's kind of standard by now. They have APIs, or good. What is the innovation tokens being spent on? And I actually have a very concrete opinion here. So just like Jessie Frazell, and I'm actually just reading as we're speaking, and apparently she actually wrote a post about automating her company's CIO, Chief Information Officer, which is insane. I actually never read this post, but I love it. It's exactly that. I'm also going to drop it here at the comments. By the way, if you have anybody you want to follow online, it's Jess Frazell. She's the shit, really. Anyways, coming back to my comment here. So connecting to these companies is not an innovation token. Getting affiliates from these companies and like good partnership deals, that's also not an innovation token, because any smart go-to-market person will tell you that that's the immediate play. Right? The innovation token here could be the way that you're codifying the knowledge of the customization you want for this platform. So you can, for example, say the following. Every single thing that you have codified, every opinion of the way something should be connected that you have codified, you can open source. And you can say, this is what a structure for a config, like a TOML file or a JSON file or whatever. There's a config here. And you can reuse it in your own tool if you sign up for this like all-in-one platform. You have like a side tool for that company that enables you to automate this configuration, this opinionated flow for your own use. So essentially you go to GitHub and there's the config file that's automated. If you want to use that, no problem. Sign up to our platform. We'll automate it for you for free.
So this is also a programmatic SEO play, right? Because you're saying if you want to create a service agency, you have this config file. If you want to create a startup with like heavy R&D, use this config. If you want to use a marketing company, use this config, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. This episode, I think it's a bit different than the other episodes because it's still very abstract. Like it's kind of hard, but it's like you and me, we understand. So that like if anyone else is in this niche, like you got to talk to us. We can do a Zoom about it.
I want to put it a little bit differently. I think that up until now, before we decided that this was actually a go-to-market for developer /indie hackers /whatever type cast, we did a little bit of spoon feeding of the content to anyone who is coming here. Now we're saying, we know you guys. Like, we got you. We know who you are. You're smart developers. You know what you're doing. You don't really need to be spoon-fed. You're smart fuckers. Like, all good. So let us show you the first 5 steps of this ideation process in the go-to-market process. Let us give you that. And you can then run with it and make it your own thing, because that's anyways what we want to do. We're developers. We want to take things off the shelf and customize them, and we want to have our own opinionated flows about everything. And our terminal needs to be set up with the exact font and coloring scheme and whatever the fuck you want inside your ID, because just so, like, just because that's how things are.
Yeah.
So
let's
yes,
let's make a pact, Tom. Let's say the following thing: if anyone builds this, you got 2 customers that are willing to pay how much, Tom?
I'll pay $99 a month immediately.
I need to see what's included, but if it's kind of what we talked about here, I'm open to this idea. So
No,
just
let me clarify. I will pay $99 a month, and I will bring on my customers as well, who will pay $99 a month, and I will only take 10% commission off of those clients as an affiliate, as a referral commission. Just 10.
sneaky Tom. Nice. Okay, let's wrap it up and ciao.